What if I told you these 15 photos were never meant to be seen by the outside world? Captured in secret, smuggled past border patrols, and now, finally exposed. These aren't just pictures, they're forbidden glimpses into one of the most secretive countries on Earth. This is Wowverse, and here are 15 illegal photos smuggled out of North Korea.
Man eats grass. Food is essential for survival, but what happens when you're in a society where starvation is a daily reality? In such dire circumstances, people may be forced to eat whatever they can find. This harsh reality is captured in a shocking photo leaked from North Korea. The image shows a gaunt man in an open field, picking grass with his bare hands. At first glance, you might assume he's engaged in some sort of agricultural work, but the truth is far more tragic. This man is not cultivating crops, he's foraging for food, grass to be precise. While it might sound unbelievable, this is the grim reality for many in North Korea. Hunger is a constant companion for the masses, while the elites live in luxury, completely detached from the suffering of the common people. If you're fortunate enough to live in a country where food scarcity isn't a daily concern, consider yourself lucky. Broom at Kim Il-sung statue. If you're familiar with North Korea, you've likely heard of the Mansu Hill Grand Monument, home to the towering statues of former leaders Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. This monument is one of the most revered sites in the nation, where strict rules govern its maintenance and portrayal. Taking a photo of the statue from behind is considered a serious offense, as is littering in the area. A recently leaked photo, however, has shocked both North Koreans and the world. It shows a broom carelessly left against the monument, suggesting a moment of neglect by a cleaner. The mere existence of this photo is startling, given the strict controls in place, and one can only hope the responsible party avoids severe punishment. The strangest dolphinarium. In an effort to boost its image, North Korea's government has constructed a dolphinarium, attempting to mirror the recreational centers found in other nations. This is part of their strategy to present a facade of prosperity and sophistication, showcasing facilities designed for the enjoyment of its citizens. However, a closer look reveals something quite peculiar about this dolphinarium. A photo taken by a tourist shows the venue filled entirely with soldiers who have gathered to watch the dolphins. While it's not unusual for soldiers to seek some entertainment, the fact that the audience is exclusively military personnel is odd. This raises the question, what about the everyday citizens? Are they not interested in such attractions, or are they simply unable to afford them? The scene suggests a poorly executed attempt by the government to create an illusion of normalcy. But if only soldiers can visit, who exactly is the government trying to deceive? Sleeping on duty. Given the demanding lives of North Korean soldiers, it's not surprising that some may find themselves exhausted. A leaked photo shows a soldier caught sleeping on duty, highlighting the immense stress they endure. However, falling asleep while on duty is dangerous, as it could lead to severe consequences if the soldier is caught. Now that the image has circulated online, we can only hope that it hasn't reached the attention of the North Korean government. Computers for show. The North Korean government is well aware that their control extends most effectively over their own citizens, complete with computers meant to showcase modern living. To make the setup more convincing, two young girls are placed in front of the computers, pretending to type. However, there's a glaring flaw in this presentation. The computers are blank, as the house has no electricity to power them. Despite this, the girls continue their charade, creating a bizarre and almost theatrical display of normalcy that is anything but real. Slave labor camp. In a country ruled by a dictatorship like North Korea, the existence of slave labor camps might not come as a surprise. However, concrete evidence was scarce until this photo was leaked a few years ago. The image doesn't just confirm the presence of forced labor in North Korea, it shows the extreme extent of the practice. The photo depicts two women in a forced labor camp, closely monitored by a military official. It's likely that these women work from sunrise to sunset in a relentless cycle of grueling labor, with no end in sight unless a miracle occurs. North Korea is known to have numerous slave labor camps where the government forces its citizens into inhumane conditions. Tragically, many lives have been lost due to this brutal treatment, and it's uncertain how much longer this will continue. While North Korea is not the only country accused of such atrocities, China and Russia have also faced similar allegations. It's horrifying to think that this exploitation is happening in our world today. We can only hope that change will come for these innocent people. Bad transport. When discussing the poor living conditions in North Korea, the transportation sector cannot be overlooked. Imagine needing to get somewhere urgently, only to find yourself waiting in a long line for transportation. This scenario is a daily reality for North Koreans. A recently leaked photo captures a chaotic scene where a large crowd waits to board a bus. The image shows a line so long that the people in it could fill multiple buses. If you were at the back of that line, your wait could be endless. This photo offers a glimpse into the everyday struggles of North Koreans and is something worth knowing before considering a visit to the country. This scenario is a daily reality for North Koreans. A recently leaked photo captures a chaotic scene where a large crowd waits to board a bus. The image shows a line so long that the people in it could fill multiple buses. Child labor. If the thought of forced labor camps makes you uncomfortable, brace yourself. North Korea takes it a step further by involving children in these grueling practices. Disturbing images have surfaced online, showing children engaged in hard labor under harsh conditions. These young ones should be in school, but instead, they're toiling under the hot North Korean sun, performing manual tasks. Even more troubling is the presence of a soldier supervising these activities, underscoring the government's deep involvement in this inhumane practice. It's especially shocking in a country that claims to prioritize education. The stark contrast between their claims and reality is deeply ironic. This photo forces us to question what hope remains when a government meant to protect its citizens leads such ruthless acts. We'll leave you to ponder that. The secret female army. Despite North Korea's secretive nature, one well-known fact is the strength of its military, especially in terms of manpower. With over 7 million members, the military force is enormous, but this doesn't mean the citizens are eager for combat. The majority of this force is made up of individuals who were compelled to join with little choice in the matter. The government decides who serves, and there is no option to refuse. Among this vast military force is a lesser-known group, a secret female army. However, this isn't a typical combat unit. Instead, these women serve a ceremonial role, wielding large katanas and marching in line during events to entertain the nation's leaders. It's a unique aspect of North Korea's military, highlighting the blend of power and performance that characterizes the country's approach to its armed forces. Depleted rice field. You might assume that North Korea's shortages are limited to modern facilities, structures, and social amenities, but you'd be mistaken. If that were your answer on a test, you wouldn't be earning a passing grade. The reality is much grimmer, as evidenced by a leaked photo of a depleted rice field that has shocked the world. This image from rural North Korea reveals a barren landscape where one would expect to see lush green fields. Instead of a thriving agricultural area, the photo shows land struggling to survive due to the lack of basic agricultural machinery and equipment. This starkly contrasts with the image of prosperity that Pyongyang attempts to project to the outside world. The barren land depicted in the photo lays bare the severe effects of North Korea's economic isolation. The leaders of the country seem complicit in this hardship, as the neglected fields are a direct result of the nation's failing policies. It would be comforting to see North Korea thriving agriculturally, but this picture clearly shows otherwise. Empty classroom. The next image sheds light on the state of North Korea's educational system. Although the government claims to prioritize education, this photo tells a different story. It shows an empty classroom with rows of unoccupied desks and chairs. The walls are adorned with educational materials, but the overall scene is bleak. The lack of proper learning tools and resources is evident, which is deeply concerning. Despite the government's rhetoric about valuing education, it's clear that more effort is placed on political indoctrination than on genuinely improving the educational experience for the nation's children. The photo starkly reveals where the country's true priorities lie, and it's not with the future leaders of tomorrow. Underground subway system. Despite North Korea's reputation for lacking basic infrastructure, the country does have some impressive structures. A recently released photo showcases the grandeur of the North Korean subway system, which is built much like those in major cities like New York. However, what's unique about this subway is that it also doubles as a bomb shelter, designed to protect citizens in the event of a nuclear attack. While it's intriguing to see such a facility, it's also ironic. The same government that struggles to provide essential services for its people has invested heavily in preparations for war. It's a strange contradiction that raises questions about the country's true priorities. A shanty house. The next image is one that North Korea's government would undoubtedly want to keep hidden. It starkly contrasts with the polished image the regime tries to project. This photo shows a shanty house, one of many in North Korea, tucked away from the public eye. It's clear that if there's one nation eager to conceal its poverty, it's North Korea, but this image exposes the harsh reality. The house in the photo is dilapidated, with a ghetto-like structure that speaks volumes about the severe poverty its inhabitants endure. In the picture, we catch a glimpse of the lives of those forced to live in such dire conditions. The shanty is not abandoned. Clothing hung on thin ropes around the house, and a small vegetable patch indicate that people are doing their best to survive despite the immense hardship. It's disturbing to see how the struggles of these innocent citizens are carefully hidden from the world. Kim Jong-il Festival. In North Korea, even celebrations are mandatory. Now, picture something similar, but with a political twist. The Kim Jong-il Festival is a state-mandated event dedicated to honoring the life of the former North Korean leader, Kim Jong-il. While the idea of a festival might sound joyful, a recently leaked photo paints a different picture. In the image, citizens are shown being marched, seemingly under compulsion, to pay homage to monuments of Kim Jong-il. In a country where leaders are revered almost as gods, these celebrations continue long after their deaths. But what's the point of forcing people to participate in something they don't genuinely want to celebrate? It's a question that remains unanswered, reflecting the strange and often oppressive nature of life in North Korea. Soldiers' labor. North Korea is notorious for exploiting its citizens through forced labor, but the soldiers who oversee this labor are not exempt from harsh conditions themselves. A recently leaked photo shows a soldier carrying two massive logs, suggesting that they too endure grueling physical labor. The life of a North Korean soldier is challenging from the start, with conscription being mandatory for most. Adding forced labor to their already difficult lives only compounds their struggles.
Which of these photos shocked you the most? Leave a comment below and let us know what you think North Korea doesn't want you to see. And if you crave more hidden truths and mind-blowing discoveries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. This is Wowverse, and we'll see you in the next deep dive into the unknown.